Hey, you!
Everybody knows by now.
What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out why the population of Khorinis keeps shrinking. You have to fear for your life when you hear that so many have already gone missing.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
What interesting things are there to see here?
There are all kinds of goods on display in the marketplace.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
Who are the important figures in this town?
The paladins hold the upper
I
quarter.
hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
I want to become a citizen of this town.
Will you help us defend the city against the orcs? If you're a citizen of Khorinis, you can join the militia. You should talk to one of the city guards.
That's what I've always said.
You don't say.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now at the marketplace. Where do you want to go?
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis, by the explicit order of the Honorable Lord.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
That's not what I heard.
Really?
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
I won't tell
So you're looking for a job?
Sure. What's it about?
My errand boy hasn't come back,
I hadn't seen it.
and I'm waiting for a delivery from the farmer Akil.
And how much is it worth to you?
I'll give you 50 gold pieces.
Fine, I'm in.
Okay. Just tell Akil that I sent you.
That's not what my
He'll give you a package. Bring it to me.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
Where can I find Akil's farm?
Just go out here through the east gate and follow the path to the southeast. After a short while, you'll come to a stone stairway. Go up that, and from there, you'll already be able to see Akil's farm.
Someone's got to do the work.
Show me your wares.
Someone's gonna do the work.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Go away. Don't tell me that.
Someone's
Hey.
got to do the work.
What are you doing here?
I wouldn't know how that is any of your business. Get lost!
He'd better shut up.
I don't believe that.
I'm Zurus, master
That's
of
an open
potions.
secret.
Do you need an essence of healing or a magic elixir?
But that's
Then you've come to the right place.
Who says things like
Do you
that?
brew your own potions?
No, I either get them from the monastery or I buy them from Constantino, the alchemist. If you're interested in brewing potions, then talk to him. He needs an assistant, but he's too pig-headed to hire someone himself. He's just as stubborn as a mule. He always passes me when he goes out on the east gate to collect plants for his potions.
I can't take care of everything.
Where
for
exactly does Constantino gather his herbs?
Honestly, I witnessed
He
it
always
myself.
goes through the eastern city gate here and then disappears into the wilderness to the left. He once told me that just about everything grows there, except for King Sorrel.
everybody. Really, how interesting.
Has Constantino ever told you where to find King Sorrel?
I once heard him say that the stuff grows near stone
I
circles,
can't take care of
near
everything
Lobart's
for
farm.
everybody.
That's a farm near the other gate. There's one of those stone circles. I think it's on a hill. It used to be a grave or
That's not what I
something.
heard.
Show me your wares.
Someone's got to do the work.
Really? How interesting. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
And it's going to get even worse.
You don't say.
That's not what my husband thinks. Who says things like that?
That's not what my husband thinks. He simply talks too
That's
much.
what I've always said. Everybody knows by now.
What do you
Get
want
out!
here?
Yeah,
See?
get out!
That wasn't so hard.
To anyone.
And he owns all day too.
I can't take care of everything for
Who
everyone.
says things like that? Don't tell this to anyone.
That's not what I heard.
Show me your wares.
All day too.
But that's terrible.
Don't tell me that. And it's gonna get even worse.
one more thing.
Really, how
Listen, kid.
interesting.
I've got important things to do right now.
Really?
We'll talk
Interesting.
again
Who
later,
says
got
things
it?
like that? Don't tell this to anyone.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Innos be with you, stranger.
That's not
If
what
you're
I
looking for a
heard.
good selection for the traveler,
And he
then
works
you're in the
all day
right
too.
Don't tell
place.
this to anyone.
But I'm warning you, if you're planning on helping yourself without paying, I'll call the city guard. Just a moment. Do I look like a thief?
That's
Bah! You won't be the first one to make off with my things today.
Who says things like that? Everybody knows by now.
But that's terrible.
Somebody stole from you.
Too.
I can't prove it. The fellow was damn clever. Introduced himself as Ringaroo, if that really is his right name. He's been hanging around the marketplace the last few days.
Secret.
And every evening he gets plastered at the beer stand down the
That's not
street.
what my husband
I
thinks.
bet the bastard is drinking my money. I only looked away for a moment, and my purse was gone.
That's an open secret.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself. That's an open secret.
I can't take care of everything for everybody. I can't take care of everything for
I
everybody.
won't tell her a thing.
Alric says you got his sword.
Bad times.
Do you mean that ragged fellow who traded his weapon to me for a few torches and chunks of meat? That's him.
Oh,
I still have the sword.
Now
How much do you want for it?
You don't
Well,
say.
for you, 50 gold pieces.
I witnessed it myself.
Don't tell this to anyone.
He'd better shut up. Everybody knows by now.
Show me your
Someone's gonna do
wares.
the work. You don't say.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself. And he works all day too.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. And he works all day too.
I don't believe that. That's not what I heard.
Go away. Don't tell me that. Go away. Don't tell me that.
I won't tell her a thing from now on. If I hadn't seen it with my own
Really?
eyes.
How interesting. These are bad times.
That's an open secret. He can't keep anything to himself.
That's not what my husband thinks. That's not what I heard.
Who says things like that? I don't believe that.
Go away. Don't tell me
But with it, the trees and animals were also washed away, and a deep sadness overcame Adanos. And thus spake Adanos to his brothers, "Never again shall you walk upon my land, for it is sacred, and so shall it be." But the human and the beast waged war upon the land of Adanos, and the wrath of the gods was with them.
I'll never get this open without the right
human
key.
slew the beast, and it entered into Beliar's realm.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorabin.
Now unequal, and he bade Enos
How's it going?
take his
Same as always,
power from the
but I don't want to complain.
And Enos, in his wisdom, did so. khorinis feared for the day in which the beast would return to the land. And so he made Enos to leave a part of his power in his realm so that he might restore it to the human if the beast should return.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice. Provided the other masters agree.
Let's talk again about that orc thing.
What?
An orc is a damn tough opponent.
Looking at you, you might be right. You don't have much meat on your bones. But that can change. Nevertheless, you have to prove to me that you have the courage to fight.
So, couldn't it be something slightly smaller?
Hakon, the weapons dealer in the marketplace, told me that he was attacked by bandits a few days ago. The bastards are said to be roaming around somewhere outside the East Gate. Those cowardly rogues shouldn't be terribly bright. Hunt the bastards down. Every single one of them. Then I'll know that we can use you here in the city.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before you've proven to me that you're good for something.
Hey!
New in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I've learned a lot from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorben the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
What with?
What did you want in there, huh?
Hey, you!
Ah, fresh face. You're not from khorinis, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in khorinis, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Can you sell me some lockpicks?
Well, all right, but they won't be of any use to you as long as you don't know how they work.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in khorinis without a decent job.
Is that so? What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants' Rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Has anything exciting happened?
Oh well, all's quiet. I suppose that when the orcs come, we can't fail to notice.
Has anything exciting happened?
Oh well, all's quiet.
Enough trouble as it is.
And Beliar spoke to another creature. Adanos brought forth the tide, and the creature was washed from the face of the earth.
That's not what I heard.
That's not what I heard.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Bosper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to khorinis?
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
That's not
I'm
what
looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
I knew that would be a problem.
If I hadn't seen it with
That would be a problem.
what if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Harrod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Don't say that.
Will I get your approval to sign up with a different master?
All right, you shall have my approval, but on one condition. Work for me, at least for a short time. That way, you can find out for yourself whether you like my craft or not. And who knows, maybe you'll end up liking it, and you'll stay with me. If you're good enough to sign on with me, you're also good enough for all others here.
It can't go on like this forever.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
Got my own opinion about that.
You can't keep anything to yourself.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
That's the first I've heard of it. That was quite obvious.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Right. Listen, it's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
I've heard that someone stole from you.
Who told you that? Probably Bartok, huh? Didn't he have anything better to tell you? Oh, well. Let me tell you, if I get hold of this bastard, he can say his prayers. I left the shop for only a moment. When I came back, I could only just see him leave, with my bow on his shoulder. I called the guards right away, but the lowlife ran towards the harbor, and they lost him there. I lit a bonfire under their asses then, and they searched the entire harbor district. But they didn't find a thing. Those bumbling lackeys. I bet my bow is still in town somewhere. I informed the guards on both city gates, and they haven't seen anyone leave with my bow. When I get my hands on that bastard.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Will I get your approval?
Work that way, and if you...
He never would have thought of that himself.
About the wolf skins.
We had agreed on half a dozen, but you've still got time. Go and get those skins.
Show me your wares.
Do you really believe that?
Wouldn't be so sure.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
I'd have gone about it differently.
Hey, you!
I hardly know what to believe.
What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out why the You have to...
That's the first I've heard of it.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
That's all just gossip.
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
It's a bad business.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here. But it'll cost you.
It's really not my problem.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
That's a whole damn lot.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But
in principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
how exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Khorinis.
How do I get the approval of the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance, so behave yourself.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
One thing at a time. First fulfill your part of the deal and bring me the gold.
That's all just gossip. We can only wait and see.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Show me your wares. I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see.
But the light was a torment for Belial.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
And so he set himself between
Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes and hairdos, the fine dining and civilized conversations. Everything was better back then. No one would have dared to humiliate the heart of a poor widow with such ridiculous claims. Whatever shall I do? My pension is barely enough to make ends meet, and times are getting even rougher. One sees it everywhere. People must scrimp and save. It's been weeks since the last ship came to town. My husband was the captain of a merchant ship. Actually, he even owned the ship. From his long journeys, he always brought me presents. Exquisite fabrics from the mainland, precious spices from the southern countries. Most people haven't even heard of these things. But then, one day, I got the tidings that the Gritta had sunk. That was the name of the ship. My husband called it that out of love for me. I wept and prayed that my husband had survived the disaster. Every day I hoped to hear from him, but all my longing was in vain. May Innos have mercy on his soul. May he rest in peace. Since that time, I have been living under these modest circumstances, and now this soulless, callous Matteo is after the last bit of my life savings. Please have mercy on a poor woman. Back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, the fine dining.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout! All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house? What else do you want? You've got my gold. Go away.
And the human slew the beast, and it entered into Beliar's realm. Adanos saw that order and chaos were now unequal, and he bade Enos to take his divine power from the human. And Enos, in his wisdom, did so.
I know nothing about picking locks. Your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Matteo can get his money later.
No, Matteo will get his money back from me.
You're getting me into a real mess that way. Lamar is not terribly generous when it comes to debts. But at least you're planning to pay my niece's debts. I guess I ought to thank you for that.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Got my own opinion about that.
I want to sign up with you as an apprentice.
With me? No! I have already had the dubious pleasure once of grappling with an apprentice. That's quite enough for me. I invested several years in his education, and in the end, the poor fool up and poisoned himself. Go sign up with one of the other masters.
What will I have to do to become your apprentice?
I couldn't bear yet another dilettante on my conscience. There is a multitude of herbs out there. Used in different variations, they develop the most diverse effects. You probably don't even know half of them. Here. This is a list of the most important plants. Bring me a plant of each kind, and I might reconsider taking you in as an apprentice.
About the plants.
If you cannot handle that by yourself, you won't be any good as an alchemist either.
I see. I want to sign up with one of the other masters.
You have come to ask my approval? As far as I'm concerned, you can sign up with whoever you like.
I'm in need of healing.
Why? Are you injured?
Not really.
Get lost then, or you may well suffer an injury.
Show me your wares.
Who says things like that?
It's just like you said. He didn't get that from me.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Like it's so
Has anything exciting happened lately?
Not long ago, the city they were searching for, they're obviously trying to play.
Hey! What's new?
I wonder why the Paladins are. If they were here about the...
How's it going?
How much do you want?
What do you mean, how much?
I'm the moneylender and you came to me. What could you want from me? Money, of course.
Well, lend me some money.
Sure. How much would you like? I charge 20%.
I'll think about it.
Make up your mind. Don't waste my time.
Hey, you! What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out what you have to.
Tell me that isn't true.
That's no big secret. Smart kid.
Boy, that lunatic's hammering is wearing me down.
Who are you talking about?
Can't you hear that hammering? Who do you think hammers all day long in the Harbor District? I mean that lunatic felon. He takes the hammer to his hut every day.
I could take care of Felon.
You want to help me? What's in it for you?
You tell me.
Oh, that's how it is.
All right, if you can get him to stop hammering, I'll pay you 25 gold pieces. But I'll tell you one thing right now. You can't talk to the guy. He's nuts. The only thing that will help is a few decent punches.
If I beat him up, I'll just get into trouble with the militia.
Down here at the harbor, no one pays much attention to brawls. But if you steal around here or mess with the sheep, you'll be in trouble.
I'll see what I can do.
You can think about it. Remember, I'll pay you 25 gold coins.
Are those your sheep?
The only one that belongs to me is the one that answers to the name of Lucy. That's my wife, Lucy. Their sheep belong to the militia. All the sheep they collect from the farmers, they bring to me.
And how are the sheep?
Felon's hammering is going to drive them crazy. One of these days, they'll go completely to pieces.
And how are
Felons?
By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. Martial law is immediately declared in all cities and regions of the realm. All civilian judges are to hand over their duties to the royal paladins.
What's new?
I wonder why the paladins are, if they were here.
Andre is commanded to punish every crime or act of resistance against the king's guards most severely. Every inhabitant of Khorinis who is guilty of a crime is to report immediately to Lord Andre.
Hey! Why are you hammering?
For days now, I've been desperately trying to fix the leaks in my house. The rafters have been crumbling away ever since we had those rainfalls recently. Soon everything's gonna come down around my ears.
Hey! Could you stop hammering?
No, I have to finish this.
Just quit hammering, okay?
Just try not to bug me too much, okay?
I'll give you 10 gold pieces if you stop that hammering.
Hey, that's very generous of you. But as to your gold, you can... well, you know what you can do with it.
Stop that hammering or I'll break every bone in your body.
Forget it, or I'll knock some sense into your head with my hammer.
Hey, you! Hello? Are you feeling quite well?
Fine, just as long as I manage to get all this repaired in time. You have no business.
Smart kid.
Wait a minute.
Oh my God!
Let him have it. Let him have it. Whack him. Not bad.
Don't you ever dare attack me again.
Will it ever change?
Well, at least you've got some gold on you.
Let's wait and see what happens.
Hey!
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
That'll only cause more trouble.
You'll
Oh my God!
Not bad.
Don't you ever dare attack me again.
Let's wait and see what happens.
Hey!
Oh my God!
Give it your all. Show him. Not.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
It can't go on like this forever.
Nothing there. There.
That'll only cause more trouble.
Nothing to be had there.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
It can't go on like this forever.
Don't you try that again.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
Wait a minute.
Okay, so you beat me. Some heroic deed that was.
Will you stop hammering now, or do I have to thrash you again?
No, don't hit me anymore. I'll stop. But if everything collapses around here, it'll be your fault.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
That's not what I heard. Will it ever change?
Hello? Are you feeling quite well?
The roof is getting worse all the time. The next time it rains, the water will be sloshing up to my ankles, and it's all your fault.
Nobody ever asked.
Don't tell me you didn't know
Felon will hammer no longer.
Hear that? No more hammering. At last, I thought the fellow would never quit. You've done me a huge favor. You know what? I'll give you 30 gold pieces.
And how are the sheep?
The sheep eat and get fatter and fatter. Just like my wife.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following the security measures for the protection of the upper quarter will be further strengthened. The guards on the gates are ordered to interpret the law in the strictest sense in order to prevent unauthorized entry.
Smart kid.
What with?
You listen to the wrong people.
Let's wait and see what happens.
He simply talks too much.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Who says things like that?
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Hey, you still here? Didn't I tell you to piss off? Now I'll show you who's boss around here.
It's all just gossip to me. Some don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah! Run as fast as you can!
Stop it, right now!
What a fight. Oh my goodness!
But no, he insisted he knew better. There's nothing you can do about it.
Hey, you still here? Didn't I tell you to piss off? Now I'll show you who's boss around here.
Who says things like that?
There's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
I didn't get that from me.
Yeah! Run as fast as you can!
So sure of himself. I couldn't care less. It's totally obvious.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
If he doesn't see it, I can't help it. You just have to
Yeah! Run as fast as you can!
Stop it, right now!
What a fight.
Alarm! There's to be no fighting here, and
Nothing
don't
there.
you forget it. Not even any gold.
He should have known this. Who said that? Not gonna change that.
Don't tell me you didn't know that. You see.
Do you really think it can't go on like this forever?
Better off myself. They listen to me.
As if I didn't have enough. I wouldn't have done that.
Don't tell me you didn't know. You hardly know what to believe anymore. Don't tell me you didn't know for a thing or two anymore.
Anything's possible. That'll only cause more trouble.
You hardly know who to believe. You didn't know that.
Let's wait and see what happens. Nothing's ever gonna change that.
Nobody ever heard anything from me. I've got my own opinion about that.
That's what I've always said.
That's all just gossip. I agree with you completely.
Really? How interesting.
I'm not telling you anything new. He never would have thought of that himself.
That's not what my husband thinks.
That's not what I heard.
He's a better shot.
That's all just gossip.
Someone's gonna do the work.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Someone's gonna do the work.
It'll never change.
You're not touching that.
That's terrible.
I'd have gone about it differently.
That for me.
Someone's got to do the work.
Better watch out.
That's all just gossip.
He knew better.
Hardly know what to believe anymore. Who said that?
Works all night, too.
Some problem solved. There's nothing they can do about it. Don't say you didn't know that. Better watch out. Let's wait and see what happens.
That's all just gossip.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
You have to feel
This is
sorry.
gonna change.
You already know what happens to me.
It was his decision not to take care of this.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
No one really wants to hear that.
Just like you said.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
Same old thing all the time.
I already thought as much. He didn't get that from me.
That'll never change.
That's no first offer myself.
That's no secret.
Why'd you pick that up then?
Bosper said you used to work for him.
Yes, I did, but he was only interested in his blasted hides. I told him how dangerous it's gotten out there. He didn't really listen to me. Well, anyway, he paid well. I can't complain about that.
Can you tell me anything else about him?
Bosper had one of his bows stolen recently in broad daylight. Some guy just waltzed into his store, took a bow, and left. The thieves are getting more and more brazen.
No idea.
What my
You tell me.
husband thinks.
I want to be able to handle a bow better.
Okay then, let's see if I can teach you anything.
Thing all over again.
It can't go on like this forever.
Why don't we go hunting together?
With two, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
Yes.
All right, but I want to see 50 gold pieces. For that, you can keep the skins and sell them to Bosper. That's a fair deal, isn't it? Will it never change?
Later.
Go
No
away,
one
don't tell
really
me
wants to
that.
hear that.
That's the first I've heard of it.
People.
That's not what my husband thinks.
It was just like you said.
You don't
I
say.
can tell you.
That's been known a long time.
How's the situation?
At the moment, it's quiet.
You don't have to tell me that.
Hey,
Adanos be with you.
who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
I've got no time for things like that.
Is it really true?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
No big deal.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
He thinks it's as easy as that.
Hey,
You really should have known better.
He doesn't see it, I can't help it.
hey.
Can't rely on that.
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point, whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
I've got this stone tablet. Can you tell me more about it?
Those are artifacts from the old culture, which we have been investigating for some time. There are several kinds of them. Some contain information about the history of the ancient people, and that is the kind I am interested in. Bring me all of those that you can find. I shall give you an appropriate reward.
I've got another stone tablet for you.
Great! Here, take a few potions as a reward.
I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? Well, that means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us who trusts you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
Terrible things are bound to happen soon.
Terrible things, hmm? How do you know this?
Zardos, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer? So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Khorinis.
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that terrible things are going to happen. And you have come to report this to the Paladins. I think there's something you're not telling me. If you're worried I might pass on what you tell me, then let me reassure you. I have sworn to keep all secrets I am entrusted with to myself. Let's start over at the beginning. What's that message?
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardos, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
I know this man as a wise and mighty master of magic. And where do you come from?
I'm a former convict from the...
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been at dragons, and you have come to report this to the Paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
What must I do in order to join the ring?
Know that you take on great responsibility by joining the ring. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the Sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
Even if you can really claim responsibility for that, the great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Khorinis these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Khorinis is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However,
yes?
You should take your message to the paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
Since you are not yet a member of our community, I cannot tell you everything, of course. But I shall tell you what I may.
Who are the members of the Ring of Water, then?
I cannot tell you that until you join the ring. But you will certainly have met some of them by that time.
Where are the other water mages?
They are exploring the ruins of an old culture northeast of Khorinis. We suspect that those ruins might contain a passage to a part of the island which is as yet uncharted.
Tell me more about that uncharted area.
If you're interested in joining the expedition, I could send you to Satyrus with a letter. You can only participate, of course, as long as you're one of us.
Of course. What exactly is it that you do?
We stand between the Order of Innos and the chaos of Beliar. If one of the two sides should gain the upper hand, it will mean either total loss of freedom or deadly chaos. Therefore, we guard the balance between the two. That's what makes life in this world possible for all.
And what does that mean in concrete terms?
The fall of the barrier has evoked numerous threats. The bandits are probably the most obvious one. Not only has it become all but impossible to travel the island without being attacked, there's someone in town, too, who supports the bandits. We have found out that the bandits receive regular deliveries from a weapons merchant in Khorinis. We try to find such people and keep them from endangering the city. If you can find out anything about this, let me know. Wait, I'd like you to do me a little favor. Go down to the harbor. You'll find a man there named Laris. Give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
Hey! But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
What community should I join?
There are only 3 communities that have enough influence. These are the City Militia, the Monastery of the Fire Magicians, and the troop of mercenaries on the landowner's farm. The choice is yours, son. Laris can certainly assist you with this difficult decision. Talk to him about it.
I shall do that. About those missing people.
Yes?
Where should I start looking for them?
Most of those people disappeared down by the harbor. That's probably where you should start your search.
Let me tell you what I know.
What have you found out?
Nothing important so far. About this weapons dealer. How much do you know about the weapons dealer?
Ask Martin, the provisions master of the Paladins, about this. He should be able to tell you more. He has been tasked with unmasking the weapons dealer. You can find Martin in the Harbor District. If you see a heap of crates, provision, and paladins, Martin won't be far.
Is there anything that could help me with my search?
You're a very persistent young man, but I actually can think of something that could make your tasks easier for you. I shall give you this ore amulet. You'll certainly be able to use it. It is an amulet of the searching will-o'-the-wisps. There are only very few of them. The will-o'-the-wisp that inhabits this amulet has very special properties. It can help you find things that normally elude the naked eye. You summon it by simply wearing the amulet. If it loses its power or you cannot find it, simply put on the amulet again and it will reappear. The will-o'-the-wisp can detect weapons. It could be very helpful to you in investigating the weapons deliveries to the bandits. Treat it well, and it will never fail you.
A will-o'-the-wisp in an amulet?
Will-o'-the-wisps are admirable creatures. They consist of pure magical energy. They are bound to the magical ore in this world. It is their origin. It gives them their strength. I'm not surprised that you've never heard of them. They only appear to the person who bears the ore to which they belong. Will-o'-the-wisps living in the wild have been forcefully removed from their sources. They will attack anyone who approaches them. There is no way to help those pitiful creatures. You had better stay away from them.
Can the will-o'-the-wisp do more than that?
More than look for close combat weapons? Not unless you teach it. I think Riordian knows how to teach these beings. He is one of us, currently traveling with Satyrus. Perhaps he can tell you more.
Thank you. I shall take good care of it. I want to make a donation to Adanos.
A donation to the Church of Adanos would alleviate a part of the sins which you may have committed, my son. How much can you give?
I haven't got anything to spare right now.
That is not a problem. You can...
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
Tell me about the gods.
What exactly would you like to know?
Tell me about Beliar.
Beliar is the dark god of death, destruction, and all things unnatural. He is in eternal battle with Innos, but Adanos guards the balance between the two. Only a few humans follow the call of Beliar. However, he grants great strength to those who do.
Tell me about Adanos.
Adanos is the god of the center. He is the scales of justice and guardian of the balance between Innos and Beliar. He commands the power of change. His gift is the water in all the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His priests are the water mages, just as I am a servant and priest of Adanos.
Tell me about Innos.
Very well. Innos is the first and highest god. He created the sun and the world. He commands light and fire, his gifts to humanity. He is law and justice. His priests are the magicians of fire. The paladins are his warriors.
Can you heal me?
Adanos, bless this body. free it of its wounds, and strengthen it with new life.
I want to increase my magic powers.
Where did you pick that up then?
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
Has anything exciting happened?
Oh well. Oh.
Someone's got to do the work.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
I'm not touching that.
Do you have anything else to tell me?
I've told you everything you need to know. The rest is up to you.
I've got my own opinion about that.
He simply talks too much.
Wouldn't be so sure.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Don't say you didn't know that.
That's what I've always said.
I knew that would be a problem.
Go away, don't tell me that.
We can only wait and see.
These are bad times.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Someone's got to do the work.
Show me your wares.
You really didn't deserve that.
That's not what I heard.
Don't say you didn't know that.
You don't say.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Don't tell this to
You don't say.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
Hey, you! One more.
Listen, kid, we're talking.
I can't read that. Wait a minute.
Find me something. Get me anything you can find.
Wait a minute.
Find me something. I need close combat weapons. Wait a minute. Just follow me. Find me something. Get me anything you can find.
Halt!
Oh, what is it?
You know that only too well. We have no use for troublemakers in our town. Why do you think we should let you in? Something wrong with your ears? Take one more step and you'll feel my blade.
Hey, not so fast. Strolling about alone out here is dangerous. Where do you come from?
From the city.
Well. Then what are you doing wandering around out here, so far from the protective walls of the city?
What's so dangerous out here?
Many things. For one thing, there's the bandits. They'd polish off a little wimp like you for breakfast. If the bandits don't catch you, then the wild animals in the forest or the mercenaries roaming around will take care of you. So, first get yourself some decent armor before you go out. I bet you'll be yelling for my help after the next bend in the road.
Just assuming I would fall back on your help. How much would that cost me?
I am merely a humble servant of the king, and would not enjoy fleecing a helpless little citizen of the realm. But you know, if you put it like that, I wouldn't object to a little financial backing to promote our future business relationship. 10 gold coins should do for starters. What do you think?
Why not? Here's your 10 coins.
Terrific. If you need my help, you know where to find me. But please do me a favor. Don't come to me with any trifles. I can't stand that, you hear?
Hey, you! I need your help.
If it's absolutely necessary, what's wrong?
I'm being attacked by monsters.
But I don't see any monsters right now. I'm sure you're just making that up.
Hey!
Halt!
Oh, what is it?
You know that only too well. We have no use. Why do you think?
I can't read that. Hey!
Come here, you filthy beast.
One less monster around.
Come here, you filthy beast.
One less monster around.
on one of those things.
One less.
Have you heard anything about missing citizens?
Don't make me laugh. Heard of them? Some of my own people are missing. Tonak and Telbor used to work on my fields until 3 days ago. And I know exactly that they wouldn't up and leave the farm just like that, and yet they've simply vanished and no one can tell me where they went. If you happen to find out what's become of them, be sure to let me know, will you?
Baltram sent me. I'm supposed to pick up a shipment for him here.
So, you're his new messenger. Okay, I've already made up the package.
I've gotta go.
So long. I really wish I could have done more for you.
Hey! Look out for your husband.
I shall do my best.
Lately, it's gotten a lot more dangerous.
You're in for it now. So much for you, lowlife.
have to pay our contribution to the city. If we don't, we'll end up having trouble with the paladins.
The militia can't be relied on. We have to defend ourselves.
Is there any...
Besides what I...
Wait a minute.
I won't let my...
Lately, it's gotten a lot.
Hey, you! I gave Vatras your letter.
I didn't expect anything else. Thanks.
I want to learn your abilities.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Hey, you! I want to...
Sure.
I want to...
Sure.
Hey! Have you talked to Lester yet?
Yes, I have peppered him with questions. He was able to tell me a lot, but he is completely exhausted. It's almost a miracle that he survived this escape at all. I have sent him to bed for now.
What did he tell you?
Nothing good, I'm afraid. He has seen not only a dragon, but also men in black, hooded cloaks.
And?
If these men exist, then their presence will pose a possible threat. And I don't like that. Here, take my ring. It will protect you against magic.
I've been to town.
And? Were you able to talk to the leader of the Paladins?
Well, they won't let me see him.
Nonsense. There must be a way for you to see him. If all else fails, enter the monastery and become a magician. That might be considered morally questionable, but it would get you what you need. If you were a magician, he would certainly have to see you.
So what should we do next?
We shall proceed as planned. There's no other way. You can go get yourself the Eye of Enos, and I shall keep looking for answers.
So what should we...
We shall you can go...
What with? What with?
The thing with the plants for Constantino worked like a charm. It got me past the city guards.
Just like I said, you should listen to me once in a while, my friend.
Are you still exhausted?
And how? I told Zardas everything. Now I'm going to sleep for a while. Like 1 or 2 days, or longer.
What with?
Nothing there.